Hi everybody, it's Leanne. It's June 24th. I'm back down at Lake Ontario on this fine summer day, and I'm back looking for more melted evidence and bricks transitioning into concrete and all the different terms that we use for that. This is the beach that I thoroughly explored last time, and I'm going to go beyond those next 2 points because there's a whole bunch of these beaches down the way from what I can gather on Google Earth. So let's get started. Yeah, there's the odd cooked out brick along here, but I'm going to try to bypass all of these goodies along here and get farther down. Then we'll get cracking. All right, we're at the next brick beach. This little bay here. I believe all of these pebbles are cooked out brick, and there's all sorts of other stages of brick transitioning all along here. And we have right angled pieces of concrete, pebblecrete everywhere, old world metal. It's a smashed up world here. Bricks everywhere. So let's go over here. Okay, a lot of this rock along this beach appear to be farther along and transitioning to the former beach that I walked along. Many of the bricks have ballooned right up into what we would call rocks. There's still various sizes and stages and colors of brick and the pebblecrete, okay? But a lot of them appear to have been popped out and turned into those beach pebbles. But I just saw something up here. Yeah, there's all sorts of C14 left. Some of these hunks. Look out. So check out this. So this is a piece of rock, concrete like rock. And there's sumac in the way. What's going on here? Ooh, a couple things. So there's a tile, a bricky something still infused into the like pebblecrete, gravelcrete. There's some more down here. And this, look at this. This is infused right into the stone. It's like wood. It's like wooden fibers. So that's like the 5th time I've found wood like, oh look, more of this here. What is going on? Of wood infused into melted brick. Isn't that nuts? You can see some of the layering along here. That's absolutely wood. Crazy. All right, let's keep looking. What do you think, peeps? All right, once again, there's just so much evidence along here. I don't even know where to begin. So I'll begin with this beautiful kingbird. Hi, sweetheart. I'm trying to look for things that I haven't really showed you before, or looking for new stuff. Brick infused, turning rock. So it's just a little bit more difficult because I don't want to keep repeating myself. Here's another nice example of bricks transitioning into stone. That whole side is stonified right there. There's a nice example of brick transitioning, metal sticking out, brick transitioning into the bigger size pebbles that I'm finding along this beach. And all throughout this quote unquote quarried, I don't know what they call limestone, which is rock of you know what. There's bricks everywhere, and behind and between, underneath. It's really quite something. What a beautiful day. Whoopsies. I take my head off, forehead off. So here's some interesting bits right here. There's a dog having a lot of fun behind me. So here's another example of, I believe that's melted metal, still in the pebblecrete. And everywhere beyond these huge slabs, there's brick coming right out of the bank. Can't really see any right there, but just had a field day back there looking at it all. It's really quite something. Right, this looks like two bricks melted together to look like one. It's a lot longer. That looks like the original brick, and there's some connection that's happened over here. That's more the regular length. Underneath these huge hunks of this brick and pebblecrete all in between, all around. Alright, two things just caught my eye. One is a nice piece of transitioning brick right there in that pebblecrete, and there's a really nice example right here. Okay, two hunks of melted brick, or churned up brick, broken up brick, transitioning into this greater piece of rock. It's awesome. Okay, there's a few nice pieces of evidence right here. Just a little farther along, like 3 steps, 5 steps. Here's some more brick transitioning into, most people will call this a rock or a stone. Okay, but we still have the bricks. Here's an example of bricks transitioning where the pebbles are becoming larger. And again, that would be like something I would collect and cut up and polish because they're so beautiful. And there's more of that larger pebblecrete there. But there is a nice piece here too. Oh, a couple nice pieces. Fantastic. Here's more brick. Melted, transitioning 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that in the water? Nicely transitioning with a big hunk of metal. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and then right behind me here, look at this. That looks like a rock. Sort of pebblish rock, but there's the huge hunk of intact brick still. Okay, giving it away. Love it. There's that piece again. It's crazy, isn't it? It's not. It's phenomenal. It just goes on and on and on. Alright, I just found another nice little piece of evidence. It's just in the pile here. First of all, is it ever light? Super, super light. A hunk of brick transitioning into what we would call a stone we find on the beach. But there's still some edges here that reveal its bricky, formerly bricky shape. You can see that. I mean, not just the brick itself, but just some of the outlines or the shapes of this rock. That's a nice piece. I might try to take that home and put it up here. Get it on the way back. And I saw something else here. Right here. So that brick almost looks like it's rockifying. But of course it's still attached to this transitioned brick. This is neat. You know, I've had a couple of people ask me, well, how do you know that this is old world? Like, there's tiles on some of this stuff. And my answer is, well, it doesn't make a difference. Because whoever these people were, and whenever this civilization, oh, this looks like a nice piece, was alive, existed, of course they would have decorated their homes and their buildings. Of course they had the technology for that. They had the technology of free energy and construction and all these incredible machines, steam powered, free energy powered, electricity powered, all this awareness of flat earth and the traveling of the realm, languages. Oh, there's another nice piece. Of course they fucking decorated their homes, their buildings. Look at that nice transitioning bricks right there, and we would call that a rock. Okay. So yeah, in fact, when I do come across little bits of tile, it doesn't give me a heavy heart. That's maybe too strong of a word, but it makes me think of the people. It makes me think of their lives. Who built this? Who lived in that room with those tiles? Who lived and enjoyed the colors and textures and design? What happened to them? it just kind of makes it a bit more real, in my opinion. It reminds me that. Reminds me of the humanity that was obviously lost. Here's another nice little piece of evidence. Another transitioning brick in this brick melt. And then this chunk right here is quite large. You can see how big these bricks are ballooning and popcorning out, turning into what we would call rocks. Amazing. Alright, I've just come around this other point here, which I believe is all melted brick of an ancient shoreline, ancient civilization. And I believe that these huge blocks are simply melted and cooled bricks, and they've got popcorn rocks all throughout. Anyway, I just cut through the sumacs here, and if you can take my word for it, all throughout this little forested area, the ground is all sorts of rectangular hunks of pebblecrete. It's all overgrown. But anyway, take a look. All right, so here's another beach to explore. So let's get at it, shall we? It just doesn't end. All right, once again, there's bricks of every color, shape, transition stage. You just see over here. Nice. 2 bricks. Different states of transition. You can still see the mortar in between them. One on my hand. It's more bricky than the other one, but you can once again deduce that the right hand side part was once the same kind of brick. You can still see the shape of it. And that's with the mortar. Beautiful. Alright, I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself with the same types of evidence, but it is pretty exciting to share. So we've got some scorched chunks in here, which is interesting. This is a nice example of churned up melting brick still attached to this whole rebar. Maybe you can see parts of it is about, sorry, where's my screen, has transitioned and the rest has not. That's an interesting moment in time, frozen in time right there. This is interesting, whoopsies, sorry. You know, 2 different states of changing brick. What else did I say that was cool? I like these bricks when they look sort of pinky purpley, pretty to cut. It's all brick, same. Oh, I saw, yeah, over here, this cool, what we would call rock, brick. It's amazing, eh? All sorts of hunks of metal. This looks interesting. These guys. Melting. Sorry, I can't see my phone screen at all. It's so bright. Big pebbling happening. Sure, I'm missing a million things that you're seeing. Holy hotness, Batman. Gorgeous day. Alright, I see something up here. Let's go take a look. Take a look together. Right here. That's neat. Same with that. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Amazing. What's behind me? Oh yeah, right here. It's different from those bricks before. All right, take a look at this. I don't know if this is connected or not, but we'll find it together. Okay, no. Thought that was connected to the brick underneath, but no, it's an old piece of metal of some sort. All right, so here's an example of tile that I sometimes come across. It makes me take a moment to think of the people who at one point enjoyed those colors, the designs. Now it's all smashed up. Here's another little piece of evidence. Right here. Isn't that neat? Rock and brick. Undeniable. And then, that's really interesting. Whoops. Okay, here's a couple newish things. So here's what I believe to be a bunch of bricks bonded together, melted together, and it's retained a type of like a sugary, crystally feeling to it. You can still see the lines, and you still have maybe mortar there and there. But that's now, you know, come across that and be like, oh, look at that rock. And then this right here, it's very similar, okay? Like the same kind of sugary texture to it, but you can still see the mortar and pretty much the shape of the brick. So it's just a new, oh yeah, just a new stone that I've seen. So that's really neat. I hope you can see on the screen. I can't see diddly with the sun. And then same up here. Okay. Here's this pretty pinky purpley stuff that I like. And before learning about this, I used to collect rock like that. It just goes on and on. I love it. The smashed out world continues. There's an old chunk of pipe. This looks what people would call to be a rock. And we have the piping still showing itself. Metal sticking out everywhere. This going on here. This. Metal infused right into that stone. See, it's coming out at the top. It disappears and you can see it sort of melted underneath it. Metal everywhere coming out of here. Out of this rock, so they say. It's crazy. Crazy. Disappears. Well, actually, it goes there. Disappears a little bit and comes out right there. Some more in it. Wait, there's my finger. Sorry about that. Yeah, another nice place to bring your kids. Come on, kids. Let's play down at the beach. Let's go skip rocks. Yeah. Just watch out for the metal bits. It's about a 2-kilometer walk, mostly straight uphill to get to the top of these bluffs. There's a really deep cut that you have to take to get down here. This is a nice stone I'm standing on, all right? Looks like rock. Come to this end. Got all this metal sticking out. Amazing, it just doesn't end. It just doesn't end, does it? It's like a squid. It's fairly nuts. Another one of those numbers that matches the one we just came from over there. Goes on and on. Yeah, I see some more turned up bricks up here, and amongst this smashed out previous civilization. Here, more turned up bricks. I hope you can see that, because once again I can't. There's some metal attached to that still. Right here. Right there. Huh. We found something else that's kind of cool. It is right here. So you can still see the mortar lines of whatever these, or if it was red brick or bigger block. A part of that is transitioned to dark and heavily. There's so much smashed up evidence here. It's everywhere. In the water, on the edge, behind me on the bank. Look at all this metal. Huge, huge mess. And this is made over here. Nice. More transitioning bricks. Right, let's climb up here. Okay, this sort of captures nicely the transition from all this rubble on the beach to where they become these huge slabs of melted brick. You can see underneath all this foliage here, the transition, there's a huge piece, massive, that's just disappeared into the beach. And what you have showing up in between these huge slabs are huge rocks, popcorn, transition into a metamorphic looking rock, okay? And once again, these huge slabs, like, can you see the size of that? You can raise a small family on that. It fits perfectly with the other rocks all around it. And you've got brick everywhere throughout them, and of course you have this metal that you come across time and time again, wrapped in and around these huge boulders, which I believe, you know, it's the same of everything here, okay? Just when these boulderized a bit more, some of the metal still maintained its shape, so let's get up there. Apologize if it's really windy right here, but it's just a nice view sitting on top of one of these points here, looking at where I've just come from. And if you look behind, there's some of the bluffs behind me. Ah, the bluffs. The fibs, the lies, the stretching of the truth. A lot of this rock appears quite scorched, quite blackened, darkened. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. Oopsies. Ooh, we have another brick beach. Yay. Ooh, that looks like a nice one. Just keep going into the rocks. Right there. This is lovely, and it's also a bit different. So I'm just scrambling down to the beach here, and I'm noticing that these huge rocks, melted brick in the water, are still really orange and red, as opposed to where I've come from. So that's just a little observation. You can see all the hunks. Oh my gosh, everything is square, rectangular, crazy. Okay, this beach has transitioned a little differently. Most of the brick has turned into these beach pebbles that we all know and are so familiar with. You can still make out a lot of chunks of obvious brick. I like these, the holes in it. Where's my finger? Right there. There's another one right here. Here the bricks still showing their brickiness. A little bit. Here's another example of a blended brick. Right here. Absolutely make out one brick, but then there's another. It's all one piece now. Alright, so this is really cool. I've just been walking along the top of these blocks, and it's the first time I've explored this point. And look how flat this is. Like, look how this looks like it was terraced. And then it goes up even more. And then once again, the puzzle pieces fitting together perfectly. Popcorn rocks in between all of the huge boulders. Huh. Oh yeah, there's another combined brick. Beautiful. And a brick. And metal. And this nice little layer. Isn't that wonderful? All these trees growing. Remarkable. Huh. Whoa. Whoa. Beautiful. Wow. I gotta be careful. There's big gaps. Isn't this amazing? Whoa. This is so pretty. Huh. Yeah, this is the first I've explored. I don't know, maybe 15, 20 of these or more. But I've never seen one, yeah, maybe more. Never seen one that comes down and then is flat and then down to the water again. They've been just rounded like those. Huh. Guys? Okay, let's go up here. Okay, so on this side of the point, Shoreline continues in this little bay, but the whole bay is this, what I believe to be melted bricks turned massive blocks. No beach. I'm gonna get back on the trail, I think right through here, and keep going. Just want to show you one more thing. I've been finding this all along these points, that where these huge blocks meet the sort of dirt, there's bricks everywhere coming right out of the ground. Just everywhere. Just a continuation of all of these big ones. I can see some metal up there. Maybe I will walk up along here. I just want to point out quickly that this whole trail along the water, it's all churned up brick. Every color and shape just pounded into it, coming through this fine brick ash with dirt. It's just everywhere. Just doesn't end. Right, I'm a little farther along the shoreline here. I'm just at the next point, and it's beautifully rounded. And this whole, shoreline ahead of me is all these melted bricks turned huge blocks. And there's such clear evidence of melted metal in these rocks, we would call them. Just all over the place. Yeah, the magnitude of these, of the shoreline, of these bricks, turned block, it is so big to wrap your head around. Look, you can pretty much see the bricks still in that rock here. And there's bricks everywhere, you look, in these cracks. It just doesn't end. It's nuts. Yeah, a barge did not come by here and one by one piece them together. You got Bill at the front being like, dude, can you pass one up? That's kind of a trapezoid. You know, like 10 by 9 or 11 by 12. Can you just bring it to the front here? Yeah, pass it up. Good. All right, let's connect it to the other rocks. Okay, perfect. All right, there, Bill. Can you get me a triangle one? Like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever how this was constructed in the first place. It's impossible. You can see the bluffs nicely here. This is all building. This is all ancient building. And once again, here's the brick just on the back side of these boulders, exposing themselves, coming right out of the ground. Amazingly. Yippers. Alright, I don't have much juice left in my phone. I've just been walking down this trail. It almost feels like an old railway bed. And I've been noticing that on this side of it, it actually goes down quite a bit, and it's all wetlands. I've seen a couple otters or mink, I'm not quite sure, running across the path. And I just heard some moving water, and would you believe there is a massive, I believe, old world culvert right there, all cemented around, bricked around, transitioned, that's coming right out of the bluffs, which, oh, I should have shown you. There's some great vantages right now. Way to the top there. Let's go take a look. Huh. Nuts. All dustified on the sides. Huge tree growing out of the dust. Nuts. Water's just coming out continually, just like I found down the shoreline a few times, and I've shown you in videos. The water just doesn't end. And so this whole trail is like higher than the base of the bluffs. And then back down to the water. Nuts. Hope I can capture this. I'm at a transition point right now where the shoreline goes from these huge boulders to these huge hunks of smashed out world. Alright. And just makes me wonder if this is what the shoreline would have looked like after some initial smashing before it was seriously heated and ballooned up into the huge boulders that we see along the shoreline. Like, it's just nuts. There's so much. Like, look at these old pieces of metal everywhere. And there's some melted cinder blocks up there. I'll go take a look. It looks like just this one section got a little less zapping, heating. Thus, we've got all these bits. Melted metal. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's ridiculous. Right out of the ground.